Okay, this is our first video on part 1, and we're going to talk about two kind of reasoning today. We're going to talk about inductive reasoning and deductive reasoning. And the first part of this activity is about what is the difference between inductive and deductive. And it's a very subtle difference, so you have to be really careful as you pay attention. So inductive reasoning is where you're going to start with something that's a very specific fact. One specific observation or one specific fact. You're starting with something that's small, and then you're going to make a general conclusion here. And I always think about this as this is a fact, and this is a rule or a conclusion or a big statement that you're going to make. So this is always small to big. For instance, on example 1, it says, you kick your cat. Every time you do it, it scratches you. So this is the observations that you're seeing. The small fact that each time you kick the cat, it scratches you. So what you conclude, here's your rule that you come up with that you think is going to apply every single time. If you kick your cat, then it will scratch you. So this is the small facts that you see. Today you kicked it, it scratched you. Tomorrow you kick it, it scratches you. So you make up a rule that says you think every time you kick it, it's going to scratch you. Here's our second example. You add up the interior angles of 100 triangles. And every time you do it, you get 180. Have you added up every triangle in the whole world? No. But you looked at a bunch of small examples, and you found this happened every time. So you make a rule saying, I think that every time I do it, it's going to work every single time. So you're starting with observations, and then you're making a general rule out of it. The other kind we have is deductive reasoning, and this is where you're given the rule, you're given a general rule, which could be a statement, a definition, or a theorem, and this is what you see a lot in math, where we give you the rule, and then you take and apply it to a specific case. You apply it to question number 1. You apply it to the question on the test. That's how it works. You start with a general rule, so you start with the big statement, and you go to a small example. So let's look at a couple of those. So here, you know that school starts every day at 9:05. That's what time school starts every day. That means if tomorrow you arrive at 9:15, you will be late. Here's the general rule. That's the rule that applies all the time. And if on one day, tomorrow, you arrive at this time, you'll be late. Here's a math example. You know that the angles in all triangles add up to 180. You should know that already. I think there was even a question on the review like that. And so you figure out that if that's the rule that always works, then if I give you a specific problem, problem number 12 on the homework, that those angles should add up to 180 also. So in this case, it's going from the general rule to the specific. On your problems that you're going to do and put online, on each one of these problems, you're going to look at the problem and decide, is this going from a small fact to a general rule or from a general rule to a small fact? Then you're going to go through, get this paper from Ms. Simpson. On each one of them, decide if it's inductive or deductive. Write it down. And then you're going to do the form online and fill in either inductive or deductive for each one of these. See what you get on your answers. And then when you get your email back, and then I will take that percentage you got and divide by 3 to put in a total points of 33 points for this one as bonus. When you get this one done, you're then going to watch the next video and do the next part.